Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader, your guide to a clearer perspective. I've got a message for Cancer today. This is your abundant and beneficial message from the universe that I have asked for through the cards. I will continue to channel with my guides as we go through. So Cancer, such an amazing message for you today. Let's get started. We have the Queen of Wands for the energy that the universe sends you. This is the encouragement to be your own independent, amazing, shining, charismatic self. This is really an interesting call. When we put it all together, it's going to make a lot more sense. But this energy that the universe is sending you is talking about that drive to really be and know yourself, and to make all of your actions come from that place of intuitive knowing, and to understand your power and your charisma that you have when you are in your own self. I'm reminded of how, if there's an animal or a baby in the room, everyone is watching that animal or that baby, right? So it could be a dog just lying on the floor, or a cat like licking a paw, and everyone is staring at the cat, or everyone's staring at the dog or the baby. And it's because in that moment, they are completely within themselves and they're not looking out, they're not trying to interact or react. They're just knowing themselves and they're in themselves, doing what their self is telling them to do. That's the kind of energy that the universe wants you to embrace this week. Now I'm looking down because I'm trying to grab the next cards. We have, for the way that you respond to this card, the Lovers. Now, the Lovers means a lot of different things, but for you, we're talking about too much emphasis on the other, too much emphasis on union, on coming together with someone else. This is a big statement to make, because we could be talking about a partner, the search for a partner, or even the way that you interact with family members and colleagues. And I'm not saying you literally do this with them, but I'm saying that the thought of union with them, or the thought of how do I get along with them, how do I cooperate with them, how do I blend with them, that supersedes your need to be in the moment with yourself. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm getting the signal to move on with the cards, so let's keep going. We have something, I'm going to hide this one because he's like a surprise. So we have the Lord and the Strength. Now, the Lord is about protecting your boundaries, protecting your interests, and really protecting that tender feminine self, but really it's self-protection. Making sure that you are the one that you're standing up for first, that whatever the plans are or whatever the day brings, that you're putting yourself first. He is so strong in that, he's got that pole he's holding on to. We have those horns, and he's got some armor on. So he's a very strong presence. Nothing gets past him. Nothing defeats him. That's the strength of his intention to keep that protection up. And so that's what you're being asked to do. When you've got this energy, and look at all this red, look at all this passionate red in these cards. When you're being asked to be completely within yourself, touched in with your own intuition, you're also being asked to protect it. And then this Strength card comes in kind of like on steroids to strengthen your resolve, to help you understand that, okay, you can put up your boundaries, but still remain flexible. So this isn't about like making things so rigid around yourself that you create all these boxes and there's no flow and there's no joy in interacting with others. But it's just reminding you that strongly being in yourself and standing up for yourself, it can be as gentle as saying, you know what, I hear you're in that kind of state right now, but I need to take a little time for myself. Or it can be as gentle as just quietly leaving the room. If something's happening in there that just doesn't feel right with you, just quietly leaving the room. It also has to do with overcoming the lower instinct. And we're back to this lovely card. This is not a G-rated channel today. Back to this card of sometimes this represents like the lower instincts, right? That lust And we've got this animal on here, and you've often heard the term animal lust, or maybe it's just me that has heard that term, I don't know. But we've got this animal on here which talks about the lower self, and the only way to overcome the lower self, those instincts, that the negative conditioning and the negative patterning, is to really listen to your heart and really listen to your intuition. And you see how she's got her hand on her heart. And I recently watched a video about the knowledge and the power that's in our heart, that in any given moment when we're not sure what to do, all we have to do is slow down. So slow down our breathing so that we calm the parasympathetic nerves and we're no longer in fight or flight. So you slow your breathing down, touch your heart and just say, heart, what is it that I need to do? Or heart, how would I feel if I do this? Or heart, what is the right thing? And in the video, the person talked about how sometimes your heart speaks to you even before you're done with the sentence. So you have all of these tools available to you, the knowledge from your heart that tells you exactly what you need to be doing in this particular moment, and the protection. When you decide to protect that and put up the boundaries for it, then you have the space for it and you start to become that real person. You start to become that more authentic person more often. And now here comes the surprise. The King of Wands shows up. Now, where did we start the reading? We started with the Queen. Now, this is where it's amazing to me, because the Queen was talking to us about independence, yet we were focused on kind of codependence or commingling. But when you drop that codependence, commingling, and you focus on your own strength and being in your own energy and your own person, that's when the complementary mate energy shows up. I can't even hold the cards. You see, these are a pair, the King and the Queen. So when you're being your authentic true self, then the energy that mirrors that, reflects that, and complements it shows up. So, if you're looking for a soul partner, if you're looking for better work relationships or better even work opportunities, because sometimes wands are talking to us about work, if you're thinking about that, the key is really standing in that authenticity of yourself, practicing it over and over and over, building up the strength to put that first, and then he shows up. And then the mate shows up, the complement shows up. And gender is not specific in tarot readings because we're talking about energy, right? So if you are a man or of the male persuasion, and I'm talking about this, then I say, okay, then he shows up. Do you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the complement. We're not talking about literally man, woman. All right? Now you have one more card, one more amazing card, and that's advice. That is Seven of Pentacles. Cut off the dead wood, cut off the codependence, cut off the need to blend with something that's not you. All right? This mistletoe is something that's a parasitic plant that grows on an oak tree. I think it only grows on certain trees. But it's a parasitic plant that grows on an oak tree that takes its life force from the oak tree. So you see what I'm saying? It takes its life force from the mingling, the coming together, the union. And this is saying, you know what? It's time to cut off and be separate from that. Be independent, because that's the only way you can actually bring that complementary energy into you. So the beauty of doing this is that when you cut yourself off, then you find that people aren't taking from you as much. You find that your energy isn't being drained as much because, again, you're staying contained within yourself. So Cancer, amazing, amazing, amazing reading. Again, it's one of those weeks where I wish I was a Cancer. So I also wanted to let you know that this is the last call for the solstice readings. These are specially designed readings, special price, special intention. You can learn more about them in the description below, but they're hanging around for another week. So if you haven't yet booked yours, now is the time. Either way, I will see you next week on True Guidance Tarot. I look forward to it, and have an amazing, astounding week.